all I can say is, wow. Good evening, everyone. It's wonderful to have you here in Wilkes-Barre, and I welcome you to our beautiful city. Now, my name is George Brown, and I've been lucky to serve as the City of Wilkes-Barre's mayor for the last 5 years. Now, if you know Wilkes-Barre, you know we're a city that welcomes folks of all walks of life and all sorts of viewpoints. As mayor, I'm sorry. Go ahead. As mayor, it's not only been my responsibility, but my privilege to reach out across the aisle to get things done for our city. Now, I'm never going to stop you if you want to cheer. Now, because that's how government should work, good people working together to help make people's lives better. And that's why I'm so excited to be here with everyone today to not only welcome, but enthusiastically support a candidate who has always put people over politics. And someone who has fought to get things done for regular people like us. That candidate is Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, you see, Kamala Harris Kamala Harris does not insult. My executive assistant said, you better make sure you pronounce it right. I hope she's not watching. Now, you see, Kamala Harris does not insult people that disagree with her. She listens to them. She understands what real leaders, that they don't put people down, they work to lift people up. We understand that being president is not about ego or power. It's about service and sacrifice. And she will be a president for all Americans. She's a leader who will take us forward. Now, the same simply cannot be said about Donald Trump. When he was president, his main legislative accomplishment was handing out trillions in tax cuts to rich guys like himself. He disrespected our Constitution. He spat in the face of our democracy on January 6th. When he encouraged a mob of violent insurrectionists to storm the Capitol and then sat back and he watched. He used the Oval Office to bully people. I think you said lock them up. He's proved just how little he's changed on the debate stage on Tuesday, when he spent the better part of 2 hours angry, ranting about himself, and once again papering over January 6th. He's no leader. He has no business being anywhere near our White House. Now, folks, our democracy and our livelihoods are on the line this November, because Donald Trump's radical Project 2025, the agenda will nearly consolidate power into Trump's hands. It will replace dedicated career public servants with Trump loyalists, people that will parrot what he says and do what he wants. Not only that, Project 2025 agenda will devastate the middle class. It'll raise taxes on hardworking Americans and families, and nearly will pay an extra $4,000 and rip away our Pennsylvanians' freedoms. That is what is at stake. Now, fortunately for us, we have an opportunity to move forward and elect an incredible leader in Kamala Harris. Now, we have the opportunity to turn page on Donald Trump and chart a new way forward. And now, folks, we're in the home stretch right now, the last 53 days, and we have to make a difference. So, Wilkes-Barre, I'm asking you, we got to get together, knock on doors, and we have to send Kamala Harris and Tim Walz to the White House. Thank you, everyone.
Please welcome Governor Josh Shapiro.
Come on up for the rise. Come on up, lay your hands in mine. Come on up for the rise. Come on up for the rise tonight. La 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 la
What's up, Wilkes-Barre? Man. Y'all look amazing out there. My name is Josh Shapiro, and I am damn proud to serve as your governor. Let me tell you, I want to thank you for giving me the honor to serve as the 48th governor of this great Commonwealth. We have proved that we can bring people together and get shit done here in Pennsylvania. Investing an historic amount in our public schools, because every child of God deserves a fair shot. And we know that when those kids go to and from school, they deserve to live in a safe community and walk down safe streets. And we also know, and this is especially true here in northeastern Pennsylvania, that we want these young people to grow up in the communities they love and stay here because there are jobs and economic opportunities available for them. And we want everyone to know that you are valued here. Whether you choose to be a lawyer or a laborer, we want you to know you belong here in Pennsylvania. And all people here in Pennsylvania need to know, no matter what you look like, where you come from, who you love or who you pray to, you belong, and I got your back. That's right. Now, we've gotten a whole lot done together, and I want you to know that we don't accomplish I'm losing my voice, that's how much I love talking to you. We don't get these things done unless we have partners in progress. This community has been a partner to me in making progress for Pennsylvania. And I'll tell you who else has been a partner to me. Senator Bob Casey has been a partner to me. That's right. When we need something here in Pennsylvania, Bob Casey is there for us. Are you with me to return Bob Casey to the U.S. Senate? We need Bob Casey. And I'll tell you another partner in progress, someone who's helped us fix our roads and bridges, someone who's made sure that our children are drinking water out of lines that don't have lead in it anymore, someone who's making sure that people in rural communities get access to broadband and high-speed internet. That partner is Vice President Kamala Harris. Together, together with her partner from just up the road in Scranton, and I know that's a different place, but we can shout out Scranton. Together, they have made meaningful investments in Pennsylvania, and I want you to know they give a damn about our Commonwealth and about all of you. And I'll tell you something. I have known Kamala Harris for nearly 20 years. She is tough as nails. And she's got a big heart. And she is someone who doesn't play. We saw that the other night in the debate, right? She and I both been prosecutors, and Kamala Harris has always been for the people. She has always had your back. She stood up for you. She has stood up for our union sisters and brothers time and time again. Whether as a prosecutor, a U.S. Senator, or the Vice President, she is battle-tested and ready to go and ready to lead this nation forward. Now, she has always been for us. Compare that to the other guy. There's a hell of a contrast in this race. Oh, you've heard of him, I guess. Kamala Harris brings strength and stability. Donald Trump brings a whole lot of chaos. I want you to think about this. when Donald Trump was in charge before, and by the way, we are not going back to that. We're not. We are not. We're not going back. We're not. And here's why. Because when you go back and look at his record, it was more chaos, less jobs, and a whole lot less freedom when Donald Trump was in charge. Think about this. When Donald Trump was in charge last time, millions of women across this country lost the basic freedom to just simply make decisions over their own bodies. We are not going back. A country with more chaos and less freedom? Well, that's not who we are. We're a nation that loves freedom. We're a nation that cherishes democracy. And we are a nation that has always come together when things get tough, and we have always advanced the cause of freedom. Think about it. In every chapter of our American story, we have made progress. We've made progress here in Pennsylvania, and we have made progress all across this nation. And yet, it is true that there are times where it feels like we've taken a couple steps forward. And then maybe, I love you back, and then maybe, just maybe, we get knocked back a little bit. But the strength, the kind of strength I see here in northeastern Pennsylvania, that strength, that determination has always helped us move forward. And the question is, why? Where's that spirit come from? Well, I'll tell you what, that spirit of moving forward, that spirit of progress, it comes from right here in Pennsylvania. Let me explain. 248 years ago, just down the road at Independence Hall in Philadelphia, we declared our independence from a king. And by the way, we are not going back to a king. You see, we declared our independence from a king, and we set ourselves out on a path of self-determination. We set ourselves forward when our founders signed the Constitution at Independence Hall. One of those founders was my predecessor as governor, Ben Franklin. Franklin signed the Constitution, and then he walked out onto the cobblestone streets of Philadelphia. A fellow Philadelphian walked over to him and said, "Mr. Franklin, do we have a monarchy or a republic?" Franklin looked at the woman in the eyes, and he says to her, "We have a republic if you can keep it." So, Franklin made clear, I'm giving you a little history lesson here at college here. Sorry to all the actual professors out there, but what Franklin said was that, are those some professors over there? There you go. We love our professors and teachers, don't we? But what Franklin was saying was that it falls to us. The job is ours. The responsibility is uniquely ours here in America, and especially here in Pennsylvania. And so we've been doing this work for 248 years. We've been doing this hard work of moving this nation forward. And so in 50 some odd days, when you go vote, you're gonna see the names of Kamala Harris and Tim Walz on that ballot. But even though their names are on the ballot, the truth is it's our rights, and it's our freedom that's on the line, and we've got to do what our ancestors did before us and do this hard work necessary to protect this nation, to defend our freedom, to not just win an election, but keep moving this nation forward. Are you with me? Are we ready to do the hard work? And are we ready to look the next president in the eye and say, hello, Madam President, thank you for serving our nation. If so, let us get to work. Thank you, Pennsylvania. Let's do it.
Hey, I just ran out here because we want to hear from Kamala. I got a couple things to say first, but first of all, I want to thank you all for being here, for packing this crowd in to welcome the next president of the United States, Kamala Harris. Now, I think I know the answer to this question. It's not a difficult one. This is a smart crowd. Are you ready to win this year? Are you ready to elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz as president and vice president? I knew that you would know the answers to those questions. But I want to start by thanking all of you for being here. If you're from Luzerne County, put your hand up. I'm from Lackawanna County. Thank you for letting me in here. And I won't go through every county in the Northeast, but I want to thank you. I want to thank you all for being here. And I think we all know, you all know by now, Kamala's story of public service. From her days as a prosecutor, putting dangerous criminals away, from her time in the Senate and as vice president, fighting for women's rights, voting rights, and workers' rights. Her service as both vice president and a leader in our country, along with other Democrats, bringing jobs and investments back to our Commonwealth. You know that record. Kamala Harris has proven on day one that she's ready to be our president and our commander-in-chief. And as we saw in the debate the other night, she is ready to take on Donald Trump and win this election. But we're grateful to be back in Luzerne County. I'm always grateful to be in my home area, and I'm grateful for your greeting. And I'm also grateful because you're here. You're here on a Friday night. You could be other places, but you chose to be here because you love our country. USA, that's right. That's right. That's right. USA, that's right. But we know that here in northeastern Pennsylvania, we share a history and a heritage of hard work and sacrifice. We care about our communities. We care about our neighbors. And we also care about our Commonwealth. We know that we have to work every day to make sure that our Commonwealth is a place that we celebrate and enrich every day of the week. That is, we work every day to make sure that it's a Commonwealth in life as well as in name, where we face our challenges together as one people. We face those challenges as Pennsylvanians and as Americans. And we've got some big choices to make this year, obviously in the presidential race, but I'm in an election myself. So, wanted to talk to you briefly. I wanted to talk to you briefly about this race and the choice before us. Now, you might know something about my opponent. He's worth only a couple $100 million. He ran the largest hedge fund in the world when he was living in Connecticut. And when he was trying to run for office in Pennsylvania, he kept telling people that he lived in Pennsylvania. He didn't live in Pennsylvania. He lied to the people of our state about where he lived. He also lied to the people of our state when he was running the last time about how he grew up. He said he, quote, started with nothing, unquote. He had a great upbringing like I did. We were lucky. His father was a university president. My father and mother gave me a secure life. But why would you try to invent a story about how you grew up? And why would you lie to the people about where you live? So, he doesn't understand our Commonwealth, and he doesn't understand the people that make our Commonwealth great. That's a big difference between us. Now, you know my record. It's a strong record of fighting for working families. And we're going to continue to fight those battles to lower costs, tackle the fentanyl crisis, and take care of our children, our seniors, veterans, and people with disabilities. That's what we're going to do. These are the people I've fought for my whole life, and I'm going to keep fighting for them every day. So, I'm going to keep this short. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Bob. 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 Thank you. I'm going to keep this short. If you want next year to have your United States Senator go to Washington and vote for a tax bill that will continue those big tax breaks for the largest corporations on the planet, and a senator who would vote for those tax cuts for billionaires that put us, that big tax bill from a couple of years ago put us $2 trillion in the hole. $2 trillion with a T. If you want someone to go to Washington on your behalf and vote for that big, budget-busting tax bill that'll jack up the debt, or you want a senator to go to Washington to vote to repeal the law, listen to this one. He wants to repeal the law that capped insulin at $35 a month. So I guess all those seniors here in Luzerne County who had their insulin costs capped because of work that I did, the president did, and the vice president did, right? And there's another cap coming in January. A cap on out-of-pocket costs for drug costs for seniors. That's coming in January. But if you want a senator who's going to vote for those big tax cuts for the most powerful and the wealthiest, and is going to vote to repeal that law and vote to repeal the infrastructure law, then I guess you should vote for the other guy. Pennsylvania's not going to do that. I'm going to win this race. Kamala Harris is going to win this race for President of the United States. So I'm going to go backstage, and I know she's only a couple of minutes away, but as I leave the stage, let's give her a hand, Kamala Harris, for being here so she can hear your applause. Thanks, everybody.
Please welcome Mary Grace Vidala.
Hello. My name is Mary Grace Vidala, and I am so honored to be here today to tell my story. I'm a registered nurse. A Scranton native, and a lifelong Republican. A lifelong Republican, just like my mother, Grace Weber. My mother, the daughter of a Pennsylvania coal miner, loved to be active. She was always on the move. She used to walk 3 miles a day, and she loved her Zumba classes. She also happened to love Donald Trump. She had ever since The Apprentice. She proudly cast her vote for him in 2016. But during the pandemic, at a time when so many of us were looking to Trump for leadership, strength, and comfort, she was betrayed by him, like so many others. I remember watching TV, hoping Trump would get serious and guide us through that unprecedented and terrifying time. We needed a leader, but we never got one. Instead, Donald Trump did what he always does. He spewed misinformation and bragged about how great he was doing while thousands of people died, workers were out of jobs, and Pennsylvania families like mine were hitting the wall. I've always believed crises reveal the true nature of a leader. But when faced with one, Donald Trump drove our nation into the ground. His recklessness endangered the American people, cost us millions of jobs, and led to the deaths of over 1 million Americans, including my mother, Grace. Here's the plain truth. Donald Trump doesn't care about families like mine. He cares about himself. And Pennsylvania, it's time to turn the page once and for all. That is why we're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back. That's why I am so excited, and yes, as a lifelong Republican, to cast my vote for Kamala Harris in November. She is in this thing to help families like mine get ahead. She believes in the promise of our country, and I know she's going to be a president for every single one of us. And I hope every single person tuning in will join me in voting for her this November. To turn the page, to protect our freedoms, to protect our democracy, and to build up the middle class. It is now my honor to introduce the next President of the United States and the definition of true leadership, Vice President Kamala Harris.
Keep on running, cause the winner don't quit on themselves. I'ma wade through the waters. Tell the tide don't move. I'ma ride through your borders.
Good evening, Pennsylvania. Good evening. Can we please hear it from Mary Grace? It's good to be back in Pennsylvania. Hi, everyone. Thank you. Okay. We got some business to handle. Okay. So let me start by saying to everyone here, thank you for all you are doing and for taking the time to be here this evening. You know, one of the things that I love about everyone who is here and what we are doing, you know, in the midst of this moment where there are people trying to divide us as a nation, trying to make people feel small and feel alone, these are moments that remind all of us that we are all in this together as one loving community. We're all in this together. So thank you all for the time you've taken to be here this evening. I want to thank also all the incredible leaders, including Governor Shapiro, who you heard from earlier, Senator Bob Casey, who we will re-elect to the United States Senate, and Mayor Brown, and thank you, Mayor, for the warm welcome. All right, so, Pennsylvania, 3 days ago, Donald Trump and I had our debate. You watched it. So here's the thing. So I take it many people here watched it. So you'll remember that night I talked about issues that matter to families across America, like bringing down the cost of living, investing in America's small businesses, protecting reproductive freedom, and keeping our nation safe and secure. But that is not what we heard from Donald Trump. Instead, it was the same old show, the same tired playbook we've heard for years, with no plan on how he would address the needs of the American people. Well, folks, it's time to turn the page. Turn the page. We're not going back. We're not going back. And we are not going back because America is ready for a new way forward. We are ready for a new generation of leadership that is optimistic about what we can do together. Which is why, and Mary Grace, thank you, which is why Democrats, Republicans, and Independents are supporting our campaign. We need a president of the United States who works for all the American people. And that just stops with all the trying to divide us. Like, people are exhausted with that stuff. Exhausted. And you know, my entire career, I have fought for the people. As a young courtroom prosecutor in Oakland, I stood up for women and children against predators who abuse them. As Attorney General of California, I took on the big banks and delivered $20 billion for middle-class families who faced foreclosure. I stood up for veterans and students being scammed by big for-profit colleges. For workers who are being cheated out of the wages they were due. For seniors facing elder abuse. And as Attorney General of a border state, I took on transnational criminal organizations like the Sinaloa cartel that traffic in drugs and threaten the safety of our communities. I know these cartels firsthand, and as president, I will make sure we prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law for pushing poison like fentanyl on our children. And as president, I will fight on behalf of all communities and all Americans. And together, we will build a brighter future for our nation. Together. And that future we build will include what I call an opportunity economy, so that every American has an opportunity to own a home, to build wealth, and to start a business. You know, I love our small businesses. So growing up, do we have small business leaders here? Raise your hand. Yeah, right? So, growing up, my sister and me had a mother, excuse me, she passed. But our mother worked long hours. She worked hard, she worked long hours. And my sister Maya and I would go over to Miss Shelton's house. Miss Shelton lived a couple of doors down. And she helped my mother take care of us. And we, in fact, used to call her our second mother. Well, Miss Shelton was a small business owner. And I will tell you, since I was a child, I know the character and the person who is a small business owner. You're not only business leaders, you're civic leaders. You hold the community together. You're part of the fabric of the community, and small business owners are the backbone of America's economy. The backbone of America's economy. Which is why part of my plan that you heard about the other night will give a $50,000 tax deduction to start up small businesses, knowing that not everybody, like my opponent, got handed $40 million on a silver tray and then filed for bankruptcy 6 times. And people sometimes just need the opportunity, because we as Americans do not lack for ambition, for aspiration, for dreams, for the preparedness to do hard work. But not everyone has the opportunity, because not everyone has the access. When I talk about building an opportunity economy, it is grounded in that foundational belief that when given an opportunity, people excel every day. Every day. focus is on the fact that we need to build more housing in America. And so we are going to cut red tape and work with the private sector to build 3 million new homes by the end of my first term. And I have a plan to help lower the cost of living for America's families on everything from health care to groceries, including I will take on corporate price gouging, which, as we know, is about those few bad guys taking advantage of desperate people, and there needs to be a consequence. Under my plan, more than 100 million Americans will get a tax cut, including expanding the child tax credit to $6,000 during the first year of a child's life, understanding that new parents need support in that most critical phase of their child's development to help them buy a car seat, a crib, baby clothes. I will also make sure good paying jobs are available to all Americans, not just those with college degrees. For far too long, our nation has encouraged only one path to success, a four-year college degree. Our nation needs to recognize the value of other paths, additional paths, such as apprenticeships and technical programs. So as president, I will get rid of the unnecessary degree requirements for federal jobs to increase jobs for folks without a four-year degree, understanding that requiring a certain degree does not necessarily talk about one's skills. And I will challenge the private sector to do the same. All of this to say, look, I come from the middle class. I understand where I come from, and I'm never going to forget that. And I will always put middle-class working people first. It will always be my priority. Always be my priority. I know where I come from. I know where I come from. But now Donald Trump has a different plan. Just Google, just look up the Google. Just Google Project 2025. It is a detailed, dangerous blueprint for what he will do if he were elected president again. Donald Trump will give billionaires and corporations massive tax cuts, like he did before. He intends to cut Social Security and Medicare. He wants to impose what I call the Trump sales tax on everyday basic necessities, which, as economists have reviewed, would cost the average family nearly $4,000 more a year. In fact, independent economists like Goldman Sachs have said my plan would grow our economy, would shrink the economy, reignite inflation, and send us into a recession by the middle of next year. On top of all of this, Donald Trump intends to end the Affordable Care Act. And let's remember, like, we're not here with Trump amnesia. We remember. Remember when he was president, he tried 60 times to end the Affordable Care Act. And as he said in the debate just this week, he has no plan to replace it. Right. You said it. He said he has, quote, concepts of a plan. Concepts of a plan. No actual plan. think about this for a moment. He's going to threaten health insurance for the 45 million people who rely on it based on a concept. And take us back when insurance companies had, but because we remember where that was. We remember what that was when insurance companies had the power to deny people with pre-existing conditions. Remember what that was like? Remember. Well, we are not going back. We are not going back. No. We are not going back. Because ours is a fight for the future. And ours is a fight for freedom. Like the fundamental freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government telling her what to do. And we remember how we got here. Donald Trump handpicked 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intent that they would overturn Roe v. Wade. And they did exactly as he intended. And we understand where we are. We understand where we are. Hey, listen. Now is the time to get a hostage deal and ceasefire. We have been working around the clock to get that done. And I respect your voice, but right now I am speaking. So on the issue of fundamental rights and freedoms, we remember how he selected those members of the Supreme Court to undo Roe v. Wade. They did just as he intended. And what we have seen is in state after state, they passed laws to criminalize healthcare providers, to punish women. Now more than 20 states have a Trump abortion ban. Many with no exceptions for rape and incest, which is immoral. To tell a survivor of a violation to their body that they don't have a right to make a decision about what happens to their body next, that's immoral. And let us agree, one does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree the government should not be telling her what to do. When Congress passes a bill to restore reproductive freedom, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. Proudly. And I'm traveling our country, and I'll tell you, across our nation, we are witnessing a full-on assault on other hard-fought, hard-won fundamental freedoms and rights, like the freedom to vote, the freedom to be safe from gun violence, the freedom to join a union, and the freedom to love who you love openly and with pride. Let's remember who we are as Americans. Generations before us led the fight for freedom And to the friends here, I say, the baton is now in our hands. And so much is on the line in this election. We all know and remember, this is not 2016 or 2020. The stakes are even higher than they were then. Because 2 months ago, the United States Supreme Court essentially told the former president that he will effectively be immune no matter what he does if he gets back into the White House. Just imagine Donald Trump with no guardrails. Imagine what that might mean. Right. He who has vowed if re-elected he would be a dictator on day one. He who called for the, quote, termination of the Constitution of the United States. And let us be clear, someone who suggests we should terminate the Constitution of the United States of America should never again stand behind the seal of the President of the United States. Never again. So Pennsylvania, it all comes down to this. We are here together because we love our country. We love our country. And we who are here understand the awesome responsibility that comes with the greatest privilege on earth, the privilege and pride of being an American. It is the highest form of patriotism to fight for the ideals of our country and to fight to realize the promise of America. So, Pennsylvania, 53 days until Election Day. And we know ours will be a tight race until the very end. We are the underdog. We are the underdog. Let's remember that and know that. When we know how they play. We know how they play. We are the underdog, and we have some very hard work ahead of us. But here's the thing. We like hard work. Hard work is good work. And with your help, we will win. We will win. Pennsylvania, today I ask you, are you ready to make your voices heard? Do we believe in freedom? Do we believe in opportunity? Do we believe in the promise of America? And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, God bless you, and God bless the United States of
Hey! one burning to flames. Freedom, freedom, I can't move. Freedom, cut me loose. Yeah. Freedom, freedom, where are you? 'Cause I need freedom too. I break chains all by myself. Won't let my freedom rot in hell. Hey, I'ma keep on running 'cause the winner don't quit on themselves.